3 operators have been given the green light to launch a child-minding pilot program aimed at assisting parents in balancing work and caring for their infants. They'll begin offering services from next month, starting from around $16 for a half-day session. The pilot lasts for 3 years and is part of a broader move to support young parents.
For 40-year-old Jessica Ng, seeing fellow parents in need during the COVID pandemic has led the mother of 2 to pursue an unusual career.
During the COVID period, I actually saw parents around me finding a lot of difficulty looking for childcare that could cater or be flexible according to their working environment, to their work needs. That's why I decided to be a full-time babysitter so that I can help the parents around my community and at the same time manage my family's needs.
Ms. Ng will soon be part of a pilot aimed at making the child-minding sector an affordable and reliable infant care option. Under the scheme, each minder can take care of up to 3 children at a time, either at her home or at community clubs. The government will support appointed operators with funding to offer subsidised services. Parents can use these services from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on weekdays. Full-day sessions cost up to $33. So, if they choose a full-day option for 5 days a week, it would come up to around $700 a month. This is comparable to fees at infant care centres. Monthly fees for such services outside of the pilot can range from $1,000 to upwards of $3,000.
From the parents' point of view, why they are viable is because it is affordable. They can actually use and tap on the child's development account, for this infant child-minding service. It is viable as there are actually quite a number of supports that the government is looking into this project and this program.
The Early Childhood and Development Agency, known as ECDA, has worked with operators to develop service requirements and industry standards. This includes mandatory training in infant first aid, food safety, and basic care. Operators must also develop their own safety policies, and errant childminders may be removed from the pilot and the wider sector. One parent tells CNA that they're happy the agency has addressed their concerns, such as ensuring adequate training.
The main thing where people may not need it for a month. So by per hour, that would also be good, and it means that they listen that we may want it for only a short period of time. And then safety is also because we want the operator to actually send the childminder to courses, or if they have qualifications, that would be good, and all verified and checked by the operator.
Parents interested in engaging these services can contact the operators directly.
Thank you.
And Paul Sung spoke with Minister of State for Social and Family Development, Sun Xueling, for more on the child-minding pilot.
For a start, the Ministry of Social and Family Development appoints the operators. We have appointed 3. So for these 3 operators, they are in charge and responsible for hiring the childminders. They are also responsible for making sure that the childminders undergo mandatory training, as well as conducting background checks, working with the MSF to conduct background checks on the childminders. We want to make sure that safety of our infants, that's number 1 priority, making sure at the same time that the environment in which these infants are being taken care of is also safe, hygienic, to give our parents assurance and peace of mind.
Now, as you say, safety is certainly one of the main concerns. So how will you ensure the safety standards, and also will there be spot checks?
Yes. So there are service requirements, which includes the mandatory training I talked about, the background checks. At the same time, the industry standards also discusses areas such as making sure that there are standard operating procedures to handle incidents should they arise. At the same time, maintaining open, transparent communication channels with parents so that if parents have any questions, they want to find out how their child is doing, they can actually check with the nannies, the childminders, as well as with the operators. And in the installation of CCTVs, if it's provided, the service is provided in the community space, it's actually they are required, the operators are required to install a CCTV CCTV. As to whether or not the CCTV needs to be installed in the childminder's home, that is up for discussion between the childminder, the operator, as well as the parents.
Now, you mentioned incident. In the case of a suspected abuse incident, what can parents do? Is there an alert channel, perhaps, to make a report?
First and foremost, they need to reflect this to the operator. And if it's a serious case, the parents can also lodge a report with the police. The police will undertake investigations. There are laws that protect our young. So there is the Children and Youth Protection as well as a penal code. So if there's any wrongdoing, the childminder will be penalized.
Now, in serious cases where parents reach out to ECDA, what are the enforcement action that can be taken?
The ACTA, ECDA, appoints the operators. So the operators actually have to investigate the incident. And like I mentioned earlier, if the parents are very concerned, they feel that there is a serious and egregious act has been committed against their child, they should report to the police for a separate line of inquiry and investigations to take place.
Now, in the developmental milestones of the children, how can childminders help in this area? Will they be trained in this area, perhaps?
The current form of mandatory training that we require of the operators is more when it comes to baby safety. So how do you handle a child? How do you feed the child? How do you bathe the child? How do you soothe the child? But when it comes to developmental milestones, going a step further, that is something we'll monitor. I will take it up separately and perhaps down the road with the operators.
Now, currently, the Tampines ECC and the Nee Soon ECC has been chosen. Tell us, how were they chosen and what facilities do these locations provide?
First and foremost, we went for areas that we know that there is a high demand for infant care services. So Nee Soon East as well as Tampines East meets those requirements. At the same time, we wanted to find a space in the community that was spacious enough, and that's why these two CCs were chosen. The operator would have to install baby cots, play areas, an area to do the food management for the child to make it basically a child-friendly place.